Well, my name's Allison Boyer, and I'm a biochemistry major. I'm set to graduate this May, so I'm very excited for that. And so that puts me a senior. So I'm from Bryan, Ohio. Our staple is that we make the Dum Dum Suckers. So I tell everybody when they're like, "Where are you from?" And I went to Bryan High School. I really wanted a bigger campus. I wanted to meet a lot of people. I came from a smaller town, so I really wanted to be surrounded by a lot of people. And Toledo really had that, but I really wanted an honors program or something where I could get a tight-knit community through that. So when I heard about Toledo's honors program, I said that sounds like the perfect fit for me. So that was ultimately what made my decision. I really enjoyed my chemistry classes in high school. I only had a couple of them, but this is what I want to do. And so I came in at UT as a chemistry major. I knew I was going to do the pre-med concentration, so I was going to be taking biology courses, and I took one and I said I should switch to biochemistry, I think, so that it'll hit two birds with one stone. I've been most heavily involved with global medical brigades. They go to different countries and set up medical clinics and work with the communities down there to provide them what they need. And the student chapter of American Chemical Society as well. So I went with the club Global Medical Brigades, and in the fall we set up where we were going to go to Honduras, and we spend the whole semester learning about their culture, preparing for what we're going to do while we're down there. So we set up a medical clinic, and we worked with the doctors down there and the community members down there, and really we're just hands. We helped triage patients to get their information into a system for them to use, and passed out medications, took vitals, anything that we could do to help the already existing community down there. We were down there for about 7 days, and I would say we saw around 500 people. People came from all over just to come to the clinic. I mean, they knew it was happening, and that we had the supplies, so I think it really solidified that I wanted to go into medicine too, because it was great to be able to help and see the change immediately, what we were doing. And I mean, yeah, it felt great, but it was just nice to connect with the people down there. And I mean, we had to learn Spanish going into it, and that's something I'm still doing now, is learning Spanish, so hopefully that'll come in handy too in my future. They provide great resources for everyone when taking the MCAT, just the entrance exam to try to get into medical school. It's very overwhelming and it can be expensive to take, so they provide a lot of resources for preparing for it, setting up like financial aid for the exam, getting you connected with volunteer opportunities. I've worked with them through my job to get recruitment for my job because I'm a medical scribe. I think when you're a pre-med student, there's a long list of things that you need to check off or do, but it can be hard to find areas where it's really interesting for you to do that, so that you're actually passionate about it and you're not just checking off a box. So the pre-health center, they're always sending out emails about different volunteer opportunities and information about getting involved in research and other things that they say you should do as a pre-medical student. But they really helped connect me with volunteer opportunities. I volunteered at UTMC's Comprehensive Medical Center, and I took temperatures throughout the pandemic, which is like a small role, but anything that can help the larger scale of getting people seen faster. I've been really lucky to get to do undergrad research. I think I talked to a lot of students at other campuses who don't have the opportunities or the faculty support that we have at Toledo. And I've worked with Dr. Ajith for about 3 years now. He's a photochem lab, and he works with a bunch of things, but I've been most involved with G-couple protein receptors and specifically them in cancer cells. So G-couple protein receptors are all over our body and they help with a lot of different signaling pathways. So really studying them and finding out what can inhibit them will help in the long run they're in cancer cells, so we know if we can target them, that would be great. And I work with a lot of the grad students and just help them with their projects through that. I met Dr. Ajith my sophomore year in analytical chemistry. I took that as an honors class, so I had to do an honors project. So I worked with him outside of class to complete it, and so then I knew his name. And then in the Toledo News, they had done an article on him, on his research for the photoreceptors in the eye and how it affects retinol. And that was really interesting to me. So the next time I met with him, I brought it up. Hey, I saw your research in the Toledo News. That's so impressive. That's great. I read the article. I was really fascinated by it. And then we just got talking about his research that he does currently. And he said that he had room in his lab for an undergrad student if I wanted to get trained and work with his grad students. And I jumped at the opportunity. The grad students learn to count on you and they incorporate you into the lab, and so I've had great mentorships with them. They're going for, they're all grad students, so they're going into their programs, but they've all been great mentors to me, and specifically my grad student Koshala, who I work with a lot. She's always asking me about my plans for applying to medical school, and she's been really supportive through all of that and making sure that if I need to write about the research, or she'll proofread it, she'll read the abstracts, things like that. So I would say Dr. Kirchhoff has also been a really great mentor. I took his instrumental analysis course last fall, and we had to do an honors project for that course too. And my friend Sam and I came to him with a really creative idea to do a video of a couple of the instruments in the undergrad labs that you get to use as an undergrad here. And he said, go for it. And so we came one day and we filmed it, and that was great. But it was so nice for him to let us do something creative, because I think in STEM sometimes you don't get to have a creative outlet. So that was really nice. I would say my sophomore year, I received the Analytical Chemistry Award at the Honors Tee, which was great because that was one of the hardest classes I think I've taken in my undergrad career. The lab is twice a week for 3 hours. It's a writing across the curriculum class, so it's a lot of writing every week, and it just felt really good to be recognized that you did a good job in this class, and that felt really great. Going to Honduras was one of my top 5 for sure. It was such a rewarding experience and a lot of team building in that with our team. So I met a lot of people even outside of my major through that. I think socially, the homecoming games are awesome, and I've gone to 2 of them at least, and just being with your friends, all supporting your team and doing the chants, that's great. I think my classes have done a really good job of kind of narrowing down that big campus, because now I'm in a group of 30 so of my major, so we've all built really tight connections. And then taking honors classes, those are always really small courses, and those are people outside your major that you get to talk to and get new perspectives from. And yeah, those are people that I still talk to every day from my honors classes. If I had any advice for incoming students, I would say get involved. There's so many clubs on campus, there's something for everybody, and it's my only regret, I think. I'm graduating in the spring, and I just wish I had gotten more involved.